So I'm back from filming with the boys up country at the new G3 auction along with Mr. Mike Brewer. I've come in today, I'm full of cold. I was yesterday and I don't think being in a freezing auction hall's helped much. But anyway, we popped in. We had a subscriber on the way. I had a subscriber, I don't know why I say we. I had a subscriber coming down with his mother to look for a car today. And they've been down, as promised, bang on time, which I really appreciate. And they have opted for, even though she had a £5 budget, we tried lots of different cars with her, and it was the Nissan Note that she landed on, which I'm pleased about because I think that is absolutely the perfect car for her. I think it really is, because you know I love a Nissan Note. This one's a really good one. The guys have just done the MOT on it. It's got brand new advisory free MOT. Will actually go through to February 2026. The guys down at Moore's, which don't normally have a huge amount to comment on my car, said this was a really good car. They sorted out that oxygen sensor thing, didn't they? So it just now needs a good old valet. We're going to change the wheel trims out for her, buff the headlights, buff the bodywork, give it a valet inside, and then let her go down the road with it. Yeah, so that should be a good little car for her. So. And she's only spending about half what she planned on spending, so that's good. She can keep a bit of money in the coffers, and I think the kind of mileage she does, that'll just do it really nicely. In the meantime, Adrian has dropped back our Audi A1 from its DSG gearbox repair, which ended up needing a full gearbox repair, needed a full recon. Unfortunately, Extra Gearbox said it wasn't something that could be fixed with just the Geartronic unit or whatever it is. They said they needed the box out, do a recon on the box completely and put it back in again, which has cost me a lot of money. I had factored it in, it costed me quite a lot of money, but I think I'd said, didn't I, previously, that if it turned out it was something simple, I'd give a bit more to our subscriber, because I got away lightly. Well, unfortunately, it's gone the other way, and I'm actually spending more than I thought I would, so I probably would have hit them even harder on the car had I realised quite how expensive that was to do. Can still get out of it alive. They're very popular little cars, but I would highly recommend to anyone that unless you're buying one with a reconditioned gearbox, this will now have a 12-month warranty on it as well for the gearbox. So if you're buying something this kind of age with a DSG gearbox in it, either buy one that's got a absolutely full service history proving that it's had very consistent DSG gearbox services, or buy one that's already had a recon of the box. If you've got one that doesn't have a history for the servicing of the gearbox, and it doesn't have any history of a recon of the gearbox, then I would probably either hit the person incredibly hard on price or choose a different car, to be perfectly frank. But it's a nice looking little motor, it's the right spec, yeah, so we'll at some point get that. It's got to have an MOT, get that up, get it cleaned up. They're worth quite a lot. I think it's like even on the 2012, I think it's like a 6995 car or something. This. So a quick look what we got from the G3 auction, because I know it was a bit dark when I did the last video, I think, wasn't it? And a lot of people said they wanted to have a little bit more of a closer look at the Tipo because they hadn't seen one before. So this is the Fiat Tipo I got from G3. You'll be forgiven for not having seen many of them around. I forget what floor pan this shares. I imagine it's with some other Vauxhall, GM, Fiat. Well, obviously Fiat, but Alfa Romeo type platform, I imagine. Maybe someone go in the comments and tell me. It's got the 1.4 but without the turbo in it, so I imagine it's putting out probably no more than about 70-80 brake horsepower at best. It performed okay on the motor. It's quite high geared. You need to rev it quite a bit if you want to get going, but once it's there, I imagine it's been designed for getting good fuel economy, because it did do really good fuel economy all the way back. So it's certainly no speed machine, but if you're looking for something to pot around in, that'll give you a decent MPG. And spec's nice, it's an easy. You've got alloy wheels. The paint is good all round, but there's a few manufacturers now, I think, they use a single stage white on some of their cars, and it gets kind of chalky. A lot of the Cash guys do and so forth, the Nissans, so it needs a good machine polish all the way around, but there is no actual paint work to do, so that is just an afternoon polishing. Yeah, condition wise it seems really quite nice. You'll often find higher mileage cars have just been my used by people going up and down motorways, and they haven't had too hard a life compared to lots of car parks and streets and all that kind of stuff where things get dinged up and scraped. So yeah, bodywork, nothing needed on the bodywork. Oh, is that? Oh, that's a moulding. I thought that was a dent. That's a moulding. Interior needs a good clean. It's not too bad, but it could do with a good clean up. Nothing outrageous. All the fabric's in really good condition. So again, I suspect that mileage has all been done in the driver's seat. There hasn't been a lot of passengers in the car to wear and stain and dirt in the up. It's, I mean, condition wise it's really good. It's a 6-speed, which is probably too many speeds for this little 1.4, but like I say, it helps you with a good fuel economy. You've got auxiliary input, USB input. You've got a little touch screen up there, so you can Bluetooth to that. Has it got cruise control? We'll remind ourselves it's got. I don't use cruise control, so I wouldn't even know if it did or not. Hate cruise control. Let's have a quick look. All round electric windows, electric mirrors. Yeah, we've got cruise control. So we've got all the bits you'd want: cruise control, Bluetooth, auxiliary input, USB input, all round lucky windows, air conditioning. You got a sissy button for the lighter steering. Like I say, this is a little touch screen, I think, if I remember rightly. Oh, let me remind myself if it's touch or if it's all done on the buttons. No, it is touch. Have we got nav? No, I think you might be able to do that for an app though. Yeah, it's a nice, affordable car. It's done 125,000 miles, as we said, but that means that on this 66 plate, this is 66, isn't it? I'm putting this up for my magic price point, a price point I absolutely love, 3,995. We'll stick a new MOT on it. We'll do an oil and filter. It's been a repo pullback, so I've got no service history with it. I think it's a repo pullback, but it's got no service history in the car. I did get the V5 though. Let's just double check the glove box again. But we'll do a service on it before it comes out. Maybe do a cam belt as well. Oh, there are some books here. Maybe do a cam belt as well. If I'll have to check the intervals on this, and I'll have to see if I can't ring Fiat. Fiat might have some service history for it. I've got the handbooks. I haven't got a service book though. So yeah, there might be some service history with Fiat. I imagine if it's been a lease car at the beginning of its life, there might be some history possibly. Also ring the MOT stations that have done the MOTs on it. They might have some MOT, so I might be able to track a few bits more. Oh yeah, there is one bit of paintwork. It's a dent on this door, but it hasn't broken the paint, so I think my dent guy might be able to do that. Yeah, 3,995. It's a lot of car for the money, isn't it, really, to be able to put a 66 plate car in your driveway. There's two ways of looking at mileage, I think. If you're already doing mega miles, you might as well buy a high miler and just kill it off. If you do really low miles, you might as well buy a high miles car really cheaply like this, and then by the time you want to get rid of it in 5 or 6 years time, you'll have brought the mileage back down to what the average is, so you'll end up actually saving money versus buying a low mileage car, paying a premium for a low mileage car. So two ways to think about it, but I'm quite confident any modern car with a petrol engine, with its correct, with its cam belts or timing chains done, there's no timing chain intervals either, but with its correct cam belt changes and oil and filter changes, I'm confident they'll all do 200,000 miles. You might have to put a clutch in, but you have to put a clutch in any car at 100,000 miles or so, don't you? So that was that one, and then there was the Mocha. But again, a really tidy car. Now, a weird one with this is I did top up the water again because I said it was using some water on the way down, but it did get 4 hours back without, and it did have a temperature gauge on it as well. So, yeah, it had a temp gauge on it, so it didn't actually overheat. I think I said in my last video it didn't have a temp gauge, but this model does, and it didn't actually overheat. When I drove it back as well, 2 hours, I'd obviously topped up the coolant again. It took about 750 ml, I'd say, of water. It didn't overheat on the way back for me either, and it didn't use very much at all on the way back. And I guess 2 hours versus 4 hours. And if it was only using 750 ml over 4 hours, it's not really going to use a lot to notice on the way back, is it, for a couple of hours? I plugged it in because it felt a bit sluggish. Well, it was very sluggish when I tried to get over 70 mile an hour on a private driveway, of course. No, yeah, it felt a bit sluggish. It got me back okay, so I plugged it in, and there's some codes for the timing on it. I'm wondering if we've got a stretched chain rather than an overheating or a head gasket problem, and what we've got is a situation where it's perhaps losing a bit of coolant because the timing's out and it's getting a bit hotter than it should, maybe. I don't know, it's a bit of a guess. Either way, I think we'll end up doing the timing chain on it, and if we do the timing chain on it, we'll have the opportunity to have a look at the head if we want to and take it from there. But being an automatic and nice spec as well, being exclusive with the all-round leather and the cruise control and the Bluetooth and everything else, I get quite good money for these automatic mockers down here. It's worth doing. I think I'm left with about two and a bit margin in it. I can probably get all of the engine work done for about 500 quid, then hopefully it just goes through an MOT. We could still end up getting out of this alive quite comfortably. And like I say, they are very popular down here with the auto box. We'll be able to sell to another mocker man, won't we? Oh, the Cougar's back from being... I dropped that down to Craig, the valeter, to get all of the stickers off. If you remember, it's all sign written from the lady's business. And then he gave it a bit of machine polish for me. And it's come out really, really nicely. Really nicely. It's a fantastic colour on the Cougar. It looks really good. It's really good. And yeah, it came out clean. There wasn't really any bodywork issues once we started getting the stickers off and gave it a clean up. The wheels could do with a refurb. And they're not horrendous, but I think it might be nice to have those done properly, so I might drop it off to have the wheels done. Yeah, no real bodywork at all. I don't need to get any paint rattle cans. Oh, he didn't really go aggressively at that bit down there. I need to do that myself. I think that's going to come out. I'm sure that's all in the lack of that. I can understand why he's a bit nervous doing somebody else's car, but inside came up lovely as well. All the seats, I'm going to throw away these old mats, they're horrible, they make it look really bad. But the seats themselves look really nice. So this I think this has gone up for $8,995. I put this one up for.